everyone, it's Bitten here with Game 3 of Brawler Bash 2014, my Empire list versus a High Elf list. I want you to know that there are 92 people at this tournament. And out of the 91 other players, I got matched up against the same guy that I played in a practice game the night before the tournament. So you just saw this High Elf list 3 battle reports ago, which was cool because I really like this guy and I like that he's a fan of the channel. I like his list, so it's all good. And we ended up hanging out all evening and much of the next day as well. So that's all cool. But I was like, wow, what are the odds? It's a battle line scenario. You get extra points for core and small units. So what that means is you get, I think, 150 extra victory points for your 3 smallest units if they're alive at the end of the game. So for me, that's my handgunners, my archers, the 10 archers, and one of my war machines. So I designate a cannon. And for that cannon, I use the Master Engineer almost every time I shoot it just to make sure it doesn't blow up. You get 150 points for each of your opponent's smallest point units that you kill. And I believe that's his 2 fast cav units and an eagle, or 2 eagles and something like that. I don't know, maybe 2 eagles and a bolt thrower. I just don't know and it doesn't matter. But that's the kind of thing. We're trying to keep our small units alive, trying to kill the other person's small units, trying to win the game, of course. You also get points, I believe extra 150 points, for every core unit that's over 50% strength by the end of the game. So that's why you see my halberdier unit behind my lines. I mean, I plan on using it, but I don't want to put it in early and have it engaged in multiple rounds of combat. I want it to be able to mop up at the end. The knights, I can't hold everything back, and so I've decided the knights are going to be one I'm willing to sacrifice. So I don't know what the cap is. I mean, it sounds like you can get a ton of extra points, but you can get, I believe, this is the one scenario where you can get over 1,000 victory points in this extra stuff. And so I built my list around this. I put in the handgunners and the archers partly for this reason. So they're units I can kind of keep back a little bit. They're not critical to my game. I can just try to keep them alive. So that's what's going on. I played card number 2, which means that I get to automatically go first, and I get an extra 500 victory points if my most expensive unit is above half wounds. So the reason I chose that card is because I was holding it for this scenario because my halberdier units, if I keep them alive, it gives me 500 extra victory points for the scenario, and it gives me an extra 150 victory points for my card. So by aligning them, I felt that gave me the best chance. It gave me a solid strategy to at least try. So anyway, going through the list, you've seen this before. 2 bolt throwers on the far right. It's got a unit of Northern Sea Guard, Phoenix Guard, Sword Masters with the banner of the World Dragon, 2 spellcasters in there. Again, he throws 6 dice at spells because he's virtually immune to miscasts. And so I think it's a sound strategy when you have that kind of protection because you just pick the critical spell. And he's got every signature spell plus the high magic spell. You just pick whichever one is really important and 6 dice it and get it to go through. He's got some White Lions, a unit of Silver Helms with his battles. That is not his battle standard bearer. That is, but a noble. Yeah, no, that's his BSB. Yeah, BSB on the horse. So he's with the unit of Silver Helms. He's got 2 units of fast cav behind him. Starting from right to left, he's got an eagle, a frost heart phoenix, another eagle, and behind the eagle, he's got a noble on a griffin. So this is definitely a game that I like to go first. So everything's aligning this game so far. The card that I want to use because it aligns with the scenario, I get an opponent that I really want to shoot first because he's going to be on me really quickly. 2 eagles, 2 units of fast cav, a frost heart, and a flying character. My war machines are not going to be shooting very long. So you can see I have things here. Demis, handgunners. I see a cannon and a Hellblaster volley gun. There's another cannon. You can't see it because the left pillar is blocking it. There's just a bunch of war machine crew behind it, but my master engineer's back there. You can see my 10 archers, my knight unit with Karl Franz and the warrior priest, steam tank, halberdiers, demigriffs, Celestial Cannon guarding the flank from fast cav. He vanguards up like that. And, again, if I go first, I'm going to be able to erase one of them right off the bat with my Hellblaster volley gun. And then I've got handgunners that can pick on the other one, which probably won't kill it, but, it's kind of nice. It's almost like It gives me easy points. So I decided to instead, because I couldn't shoot at both and be sure of getting them, and if I don't, they have a decent chance of getting the charge, I just go ahead and charge my demigryphs at one unit. That way I can shoot at the other unit and clear that chaff out right off the bat. Otherwise, I don't even move. I think I have him outranged, and he's going to have to come to me. So there's this. If I beat him from combat, I will overrun and likely get off the table. If I kill him outright, I can overrun and tie up that other fast cav unit if he's still there. We go to the shooting phase. Oh my gosh. So I put a cannon through the eagle and kill it. And then it carries through and hits the noble on the griffin. It doesn't even wound the griffin, but it wounds the noble and kills him. So that forces panic tests all the way around. So he takes it on everyone else, meaning the eagle passed, the Frostheart Phoenix passed. Then he takes it on his Silverhelm unit. Now this is leadership 9, I believe, rerollable. And he fails it and runs right off the board. If this were not in a tournament, I would have said stop him 1 inch from the edge of the board and let's keep going. That is huge. It's his battle standard bearer. It's a unit of Silverhelms. I mean, I don't know. Unit of Silverhelms is probably kind of like my unit of Knights. I mean, they're better than my Knights, but they don't win you the game necessarily. But certainly with the BSB, huge. So the Eagle, the Noble, wow. I killed a couple fast cav as well, but they passed their panic. And after combat, I don't know if I killed the fast cav or if he fled. Either way, his other fast cav unit failed their panic and ran, so they're not a threat to my war machines right now. So then I just reformed because I don't want to give him a double charge with his Frostheart Phoenix and his Griffin. By reforming, they both can make it, but there's a real good chance that Griffin's going to fail, and I'd rather be in combat with 1 rather than 2. High Elf turn 1, he looks like that. His battle line moves forward, not really as aggressively as he could have. I mean, obviously he didn't march. I'm not sure why. If you look on the left, both of his monsters made the charge into my demigryphs. The eagle flew over their heads, threatening my war machines. But again, the Hellblaster volley gun may or may not even be in range with the White Lions. I just don't remember. But I have handgunners to shoot at the eagle, and they should kill it. And if they don't, I can have the Hellblaster. And so the eagle, I don't fault him. It kind of needs to be there, but I think I've got him. Another option would have been to keep the eagle behind my demigryphs, because almost certainly he's going to win that demigryph combat. If I want to shoot at the eagle, the cannons will be worthless, and the guns, he would have a +2 cover save. And then he could fail the charge, but he'd be really likely to get it. I think that might have been the better move over there. So there's that. Northern Seaguard don't have a lot to shoot at. They kill the archer detachment. One guy left actually works very well for me. On the far right, his bolt throwers shoot at my demigryphs and only do a single wound, which was kind of under average rolling on his part. After combat, this is pretty big. So I did 3 wounds to the Griffin. He did 3 wounds to me. He wins by a charge, and I'm on a 10 with or without a reroll. I don't know, but I stick, which is pretty big, real big actually. The only good thing about fleeing would be if I got away, then I could shoot at his stuff. But I'm okay with this. The biggest danger is I don't like when my opponent wins on my turn. So my fear now, if I'm going to lose, I want to lose now on his turn so I can shoot his stuff on my turn. If I hold now, if I do break next, that's going to allow him to charge me, and that's just, really bad. Empire turn 2. I'm kind of moving the steam tank up. I don't really want the steam tank against the White Lions. I think they'll kill it eventually, but at the same time, I'm willing for that. That steam tank just poses a threat. If he gets the D6 plus 3d3 impact hits on any of my opponent's units, with the possible exception of the Phoenix Guard, I'm going to be okay with that, because even if he eventually kills my steam tank, that's going to just do a ton of damage to him. So you can see, by the way, my archer attachment's staying hidden. I'm really focused on killing that eagle because he'll probably charge a cannon, but if he I'm more worried about him charging my handgunners because I want all those extra victory points. So the handgunners open the eagle and they kill the eagle. I always complain about the handgunners, but I have to admit, they really come in handy sometimes. During the shooting, I have a steam tank and a cannon. One cannon can't fire. Each targeted a different bolt thrower. Each hit it. Once you hit it, you have to roll anything but a 1 to wound it and anything but a 1 to kill it, and I killed both. So that's huge. That's very, very nice, because now they can't pick on my demigryphs. And over here in combat, I don't think I do any wounds to him, but he does 1 to me. He wins. I'm still steadfast, and I stick. When the Griffin comes in, I think it has +1 strength. After that, it's only strength 5, which helps. Means I have a 3-up armor. The problem is I'm only strength 4 because of the Frostheart Phoenix. And, yeah, I mean, it's just tough to do things, but I'll take it. The demigryphs, I'm thinking at this point that I'm going to win this grind eventually. But if nothing else, if I lose next turn, I'm okay with that because it frees me up to shoot those guys. High Elf turn 2, he moves up a little bit. He's afraid to commit too early with his troops. Because if he does, I'm going to get a pretty easy charge with my demigryphs and with the steam tank. The problem is he needs to close eventually. He needs to double charge. So yeah, it's rough. I think, hindsight being 2020, I think my inclination would have been to push the Phoenix Guard really, really far forward and force me to charge them with my demigryphs, because the ward save is going to help a ton. I might win the eventual slog there, but they would allow him to flank charge with another unit or 2, and he could do me that way. But anyway, he moves up, like you can see. Yeah, after combat, I just couldn't do any more wounds to him. I think he did some to me. I wasn't steadfast. He won, but we're okay. The Griffin is down to 1 or 2 wounds remaining, and I've got handgunners that can shoot at him. I think the White Lions are in range of my Hellblaster, so I'd rather not target the Hellblaster at the Griffin, but I will if I have to. So handgunners at the Griffin, cannons at the Phoenix. I saved the Hellblaster volley gun for last, and I'm hoping it doesn't have to worry about those 2 so that it can target the White Lions. Empire turn 3 looks like this. I'm not really moving much. I'm trying to make it. I know I have him outranged on my front line, and so he can possibly make a charge, but it's going to be really tough for him to. So yeah. So I think it was during the magic phase. I think I got a boosted fireball or something like that at the White Lions. And I don't kill a ton, but I kill enough to force a panic. He's on leadership 9, but no reroll, and he fails. My opponent just can't pass a leadership 9 test. And he runs really far away. So, I mean, it was unlikely he was going to get off the board. But he's so far away that now, if he rallies, which he should, it's going to take him a while to get back into the game. Opponent's just having awful luck. I shoot at the Griffin, I kill it. I'm assuming the Hellblaster and both cannons, everything targets the Frostheart Phoenix. And I do all wounds but 1. It still has a wound left. I've got nothing left to throw at it. I thought I had this thing pegged. 2 cannons, Hellblaster volley gun with the Master Engineer. Yeah, they just couldn't do it. It's possible that I had to use the Hellblaster on the Griffin, but I don't think so. I think it just whiffed on the Frostheart. So High Elf turn 3. His fast cav that fled a long time ago come up to redirect the stank, and his Swordmasters charge the archer. His White Lions rally. Everything else moves up, as you can see. I think he held back a little bit now because if he gets any closer, he might get to a point where he's blocking himself. Yeah, so there's all this. So I think the way this is going to work is if when he kills the archer and overruns, I think we concluded that he would hit my demigryphs before he would hit his fast cav. Remember, his fast cav are actually supposed to be touching my steam tank. They just don't fit. And so he'll get the charge of my demigryphs, but not a whole lot of attacks each way. Of course, he has a mage that's going to be somewhat vulnerable. After combat, yeah, he decides just to reform and do it like that. He puts his mages over on the left so I can't target both of them. And over here, yeah, his Frostheart Phoenix charged a cannon. It wasn't the cannon I needed from extra points, thank goodness. But he was facing at an angle, so in order to get that cannon, he had to wheel, and then he wasn't able to overrun into anything else. He actually, once he wheeled, was kind of clipping it. So then his hope is to kill it and overrun and get off the board, and he fails it. He's like 1 inch on the board, and I've got a Hellblaster, and a cannon probably won't be too much help, but I've got archers I can turn. I mean, I could do something to get 1 wound off this guy, hopefully. Empire turn 4. Yeah, the steam tank goes ahead and charges the Reavers. My Demigriffs go ahead and charge his Swordmasters. I'm happy with that, especially because my General's unit was able to charge his Phoenix Guard in the flanks, so they can't countercharge. And I make a risky move. I charge the Hurricanum into his Northern Sea Guard. I've taken 2 wounds because those guys are just shooting every turn, and even though they need 6s to wound, he gets so many shots. So I take him in there. I don't need to break him and run him down. I just need to hold him up for a while so that he can't countercharge the Demigriffs. I've got this round, I've got my opponent's turn, and then my steam tank can barrel into that Swordmaster unit and really help things out. The White Lions have a super long charge to get to my Knights, so I think my hope is that he tries to charge him and has a failed charge, and just sits back there for a while. So here's the action. Yeah, I think it's the Hellblaster took care of the Frostart Phoenix. And after combat looks like that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy all the way around. My Hurricanum did a bunch of impact hits. It took a wound. I think it's sitting on only 1 wound left, which I don't love, but it did its job. If it had failed to do its job and broke from combat, my opponent could have reformed his Northern Sea Guard to get any kind of charge he wanted. Probably would have lined up a flank charge on the demis, and that probably would have been bad. Anyway, happy enough with how things worked out. High Elf turn 4, and the White Lions roll, I think it was a 10, to get into the flank charge of my General's unit, which just bites. I've got a champion over there, so some of his attacks are he's going to have some wounds that get wasted, but he still has more than half the unit that can attack the just a rank and file. My unit, I'm not going to break from combat, I don't think. I mean, Karl Franz isn't going to die. The Warrior Priest Stubborn, he's not going to die. But once he chews through those knights, my characters become very vulnerable. So not thrilled that he made the long charge. After combat, it looks like that. Yeah, it kills a few knights. I mean, even with strength 6, I'm making some armor saves. Yeah, he's unable to punk the last wound off the Hurricanum, so everybody holds there, which is nice. And the demis and Swordmasters, it's really going about as I expected. I mean, Swordmasters are 2 attacks each, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, and I only get a 3-up armor. The disappointing thing there is I'm trying to kill his mages, and I just can't do it. You think demis would be better at that. Empire turn 5, Steam Tank barrels into the Swordmasters. The Halberdiers come up. I don't know where they're going to fit, but my guess is the Hurricane is going to die soon, and I want them to be able to charge the Northern Sea Guard. I think that will go well for me. Everything else as you can see it. After combat, yeah, the Steam Tank does what the Steam Tank does. Killed a bunch of Swordmasters. I've got 1 Demigriff left with only 2 wounds. My Knight unit, I was able to get reroll to wound and the 5-up ward save off on them, so it actually saved me some wounds. So that was nice. Now, there's fewer attacks as White Lions can do. I only have 2 models left in the unit. I don't care if I lose the unit. I just don't want them picking on Karl Franz too quickly. This is Empire turn 5, so I need to survive his turn, and then I have my Halberdiers and my Steam Tank might be able to help out. High Elf turn 5. These guys are on Snake Eyes to rally, so it looks like I killed his Lore Master. His level 1 High Mage is still alive with 1 Sword Master, which is great, because otherwise he'd be rallying. The problem is there's only really 1 turn left, and they may not get off the board. He needs to roll an 8 to get off the board, and I'm worried that he may not. Over here, the Hurricane dies. The Knights fall prey to the White Lions, so now Karl Franz is going to get picked on by those White Lions. I don't think he's taken a wound yet, though, and that 4-up ward save, can do nicely. Empire turn 6. The Steam Tank, I think, tried to charge and failed. I take the Demigriff into the Phoenix Guard. I know they got the 4-up ward, but they're only strength 4, so I think he has a good chance of surviving. I put the Halberdiers in their flank, just trying to win through combat res. I need Karl Franz to make some ward saves and just beat these units and have them break from combat res. I have the chance of the White Lions, a chance of the Phoenix Guard. The White Lions, even if I win, are still steadfast 8, but you know what? sometimes people fail Steadfast 8 or 9. So there's that. I have nothing else to do with my cannon, so I use the one where the engineer is protecting it, and I go ahead and snipe his mage just to make sure I get those points. After combat, it looks like that. Yeah, so the halberdiers broke and ran down the Phoenix Guard, which was fantastic. In pursuing the Phoenix Guard, the Demigryph got a charge into the White Lions, which is okay, and as long as he doesn't die, which he might. You look at the White Lions; they're actually somewhat depleted. Karl Franz is actually doing more good there than he did against the Phoenix Guard because the White Lions don't have the ward save. He's done, I think, 1 wound to Karl Franz, and so I'm really happy with how things are working out there. High Elf turn 6. Lord and Seaguard charges the flank of the Halberdiers. I think I'll be okay because I think I'll be steadfast. And my Halberdiers have the +1 to wound. I think that's why they did well in that last combat. Karl Franz is sitting on 2 wounds, by the way, so that's getting a little bit scary. And after combat, it looks like that. Yeah, he only does 1 wound to the Demigryph Knights. He's not able to get the 3rd wound off of Karl Franz. We win just from a charge and the wounds that I'm able to do. He's stubborn 8 and fails it and gets run down. His last remaining Swordmaster rolls an 8 or higher and runs off the board. So I get all points for everything except for the Lord and Seaguard here. And I think there's even a chance that I won this combat but my opponent stuck. And it doesn't matter. If he won and I stuck, whatever. So, yeah, all he has left on the board is a unit of Lord and Seaguard. I got max points out of this. I actually didn't get 5,000. I got like 4,978, something like that, but pretty much 5,000. So, yeah, just a lot of awful luck for my opponent failing Leadership 9 tests. But I'll take the big win. Puts me at 9,800 points, a record of 2-1. So it's an average of what, like just under 3,300 points a game, which certainly is not enough to win the tournament. But if I have 2 big wins now, that would be enough to launch me, I'm hoping, into the top 10. So, yeah, can't complain about that. My opponent took it graciously. It would have been very easy to get frustrated at the luck he had. But yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.
Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has several functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like the video, you can leave a comment, you can favorite the video. I want you to know that I appreciate it when you do things like that. It feels much more interactive than simply me talking to a screen. So if you're willing to do so, please like, comment, and favorite the videos. Subscribe to the channel if you want, and you certainly are welcome to share this video on your blog or other websites if you are so inclined. Again, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.